If you can see behind me, that Audi TT is a 2014. It's an excellent vehicle. What I'm saying, you don't need to do inspection, right? But then this is how most people buy cars, and that's nothing wrong with that. But then obviously you expect everything what is wrong with used car, because every used car has problems, right? Big or small, but have problems, and it will cost you, because you're not going to be able to negotiate the price. How can you negotiate if you don't know what's wrong with the car and what needs to be rectified? Quickly looking at the car for 5 minutes when buying a car, it's not enough, because you need to have a look at the paperwork, you need to look on a seller, you need to look on a car, you need to identify this vehicle, if the VIN numbers are matching, etc. And if you're only one and you go there, look at the vehicle, for you to establish if it's a good or bad car in sort of half an hour looking on everything, it's impossible, right? And almost 100% something gonna go wrong. But coming back to this Audi, right, it's 2014, 39,000 miles. Vehicle is in excellent condition, right? However, I noticed something suspicious. Smelly expansion tank, very fine exhaust fumes, right? And then obviously expansion tank cap wasn't fully closed. And then I noticed during the inspection, I noticed a bit of excessive smoke. On these cars that could happen, but normally everything, because it's cold, especially I haven't driven enough or for some time, you could have a bit of excessive exhaust smoke initially, right? But after a good 15-minute drive, that smoke have to settle and clear off, and when you're accelerating there shouldn't be anything, pretty much, right? I'm talking about petrol in this instance. And however, it didn't clear, so I quickly erased my suspicion, right? Nothing is overheating, everything is fine, fans coming on. There is a bit of issue in the fans, but the fans did look like they've been replaced, right? The fan motors. And however, when the fan activation gets 9%, it's not spinning, right? So I think it actually is the cause why the head gasket is in an early stage. So I added a liquid to check exhaust gases presence in a expansion tank, and that turned from blue to green, so it confirmed my suspicions. It had a head gasket, right? So these are the issues which doesn't happen often, but normally when you have situations where seller is selling a vehicle on behalf of something, that can be a red flag. Not always, but in my experience, as I only do in inspections, it's always the case, because sometimes somebody's hiding something, and sometimes somebody who owns the car knows these things. You'd rather give somebody else who doesn't know. For them it's easier to sell you something which is not up to the scratch, let's say, right? So in these situations, I'm not saying you have to buy inspection or you have to order inspection. I'm not saying you have to do the inspection or whether you don't have to do it, right? But remember, used car, you're buying a used car, and everyone always cuts corners. Private, trade, main dealer, right? And all those corner cutting exercises will cost you a lot of money. This is an example. Look at the picture on this vehicle. It's literally it's probably the best TT I inspected in 4 or 5 years, and especially Audi, etc. So, and customer been saved from £3,000-4,000 repair bill. It's not about saving, right? If they can obviously sell this vehicle, for the right price, then obviously you can fix it, right? So more likely will be a straightforward head gasket replacement, but the repair bill 3-4 grand, depends again who's doing it, what part used, what actually is required, because it will need a chain and everything just adds up, right? Even if it's just a head gasket replacement, it's not always just like that. You need to x-ray, etc., and do it properly to see if anything, the main bearings and everything else is fine, the oil pickup and anything which can indicate potentially the vehicle, that repair is justifiable, you know, including all the components within the engine are in a good condition for that head gasket replacement. That is the question, because it is 11-year-old vehicle, you know, and things could wear out which are invisible by eye only when you dismantle and start assessing required repairs and repair process and costing up the repair. I hope it helps somebody.